Hi guys, I bought a mini skeleton. I'm currently in week 5 of physical therapy school, so I am going to talk about what worked for me and what didn't work for me in my first month while I put together this skeleton. So, update. Today I'm feeling quite anxious. I don't fully know why. I think it's because I have a functional anatomy exam to take. Ours was take home. It's due on Friday. I plan on doing mine tonight. But that class, if you're in a functional anatomy class, or if you've taken one already, you know. Well, maybe you don't know. I don't know if your teacher is like ours, but he gives us like pictures of people in like the craziest positions, and we have to figure out the arthrokinematics of what's happening. And I feel like this is one of those classes where you think you understand what's going on until you hear somebody else talk about what's going on. It's open note, open like classmate, like you would talk to each other about it to see like how everybody else is thinking about it. He also said he doesn't recommend it because of how confusing it becomes, and even our TAs we're like, yeah, we don't recommend it because our TAs are second year PT students. I'm a first year if you're new here. So long story short, I'm just feeling a lot of anxiety around that. Okay, we got to screw this into here. I feel like these instructions, man. Okay. And then I screw this. Ta-da! All right, let's talk about the last month. I took my first exam last Wednesday. I passed. My program, it's a little bit scary for me because we have to get a minimum of like a 79.6, I think, to pass. Anything lower than that is technically failing. So I was literally hoping that I did well on my exam because there were a few questions that I was like, oh no. Now here's something that I feel like hasn't been working for me. PowerPoints. I am just a textbook learner. I need to like be able to read full sentences and then pick the pieces out that I need. We can use just the PowerPoints and do fine in the exams, but my brain, I just need the full sentences. I feel like I'm missing pieces. One thing that's been going well for me, my short-term memory. My short-term memory is great. I feel like when I'm like, I don't know, just listening in class and then going through my notes and the textbook, I get a good grasp of things. And if you test me on it, like shortly after learning about it, I'm great. What I need to work on is my long-term memory and actually practicing like the active recall strategies continuously, because I feel like I'll do it when we first learn about it, but then like the next class, we're going over new stuff. So like, I feel like I'm constantly learning the new stuff and not going over, like reviewing the old stuff. So then it gets overwhelming because it's like, dang, like I'm trying to make sure I'm staying ahead of the game as far as like knowing what we're talking about in class today and being prepared for what we're going to talk about in class tomorrow. But yesterday's information, it's leaving, okay? Finding the time to review things that we did previously on top of staying current with what's going on in class today, being prepared for tomorrow, that is still a balancing act for me. And I keep having to remind myself, this is week 5. It's only been a month. So I have another exam this week for motor control. Here's our little dude. I think he's like less than 3 feet tall. I'm also a short queen, so I get it. You know what? Why did I say little dude? It could be a woman for all we know. I got your back, queen. I just gotta put the legs on. How do we, okay, so this goes on. This slides on here. Alrighty, now the legs. Okay, this is the right leg, because we got metacarpal number 1 on the inside, on the medial side. We haven't gone over the lower body yet, so even if I get it wrong, you know. Oh, it even has a letter R right here to show that it's the right leg. But I used my context clues. I'm proud of myself. I don't know if I did that right. Did I put this in the right place? Oh no, I didn't. That's why I put it through the wrong hole. Like I said, we didn't go over the legs yet. So don't judge me. I'm putting all of this together, by the way, because I'm going to use this to help me visualize the arthrokinematics for my functional anatomy exam. Yay! And then I also want to get like tape and like put tape where like the attachments of the muscles would be. It would probably be easier if I had like a bigger skeleton, but I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and see a large skeleton in my room. So I got a miniature one because I could fight a miniature skeleton. What are we gonna name it? Is it a boy? Is it a girl? I feel like every time we see skeletons, we automatically make them boys. So let's make this one a girl. Okay, I'm thinking of naming her Skelly, like Shelly, but Skelly. I need y'all to come up with names in the comments. What else has been going well for me so far? This is so sad that I can't think of anything. I had a skills comp yesterday for functional anatomy, so palpations, that went well. Got my grade on that already. So yeah, I feel like the main thing right now is just finding a good groove of like reviewing and previewing material, working on my active recall strategies. I have yet to start going to the gym. One thing that I've learned about myself years ago, actually, really funny, I'm novelty seeking. I took a quiz about like my personality in order to see like what type of jobs would be good for me a few years ago. And one of the qualities that it told me was novelty seeking. And I was like, what is that? I didn't even like think twice about it. But over the summer, I got diagnosed with ADHD. And something that I've been talking about in therapy and realizing in therapy is like, oh, novelty seeking means that like, I like to switch it up. I need something new to like keep me interested. I need a new something every now and then. So when I first put this whiteboard up, I was down here all the time. I was so excited. When I first got my new keyboard on my computer, I was typing away. Like I was so excited to make my Quizlets. And now it's like when those things start to get old, it's like, okay, now you just have to like have the discipline to keep going, even when the novelty is not there, which is difficult for me at least, but I'm managing. Something that I realized that I should have been doing that I wasn't, that I started in the beginning but stopped doing, is looking up visual aids. When you're learning about anatomy, gross anatomy, movements of any kind, seeing visual representations of what we're learning about is so helpful. And I feel like for a while, I was just relying on the PowerPoints and the textbook and like the 2D pictures, and not really understanding like the physiology that was happening. Because in gross anatomy, you're learning about the physiology too. You're not just learning about structures. So one thing that I've made sure to start doing before my next exam is looking up like YouTube videos if I can, to see like a visual of what's going on, what I'm reading about. Looking up diagrams to help me with my Quizlets, like just trying to find more visual aids to help me. I don't know why I stopped doing this. Finding the time to practice and continue to review things in addition to previewing. Basically studying. Maybe that's like, I don't know. Like I feel like when I'm doing the Quizlet Learn feature, I'm like paranoid that it's not gonna stick. And so I'm realizing that in addition to like the Quizlet Learn feature, I need to practice techniques that require me to understand it. So like the Feynman technique where you're explaining it to other people, I need to do more of that for sure. I gotta figure out a good schedule of like, okay, I get home, when do I review, when do I preview? Like, it's only week 5. Yeah, that's how my last 4 weeks have been. Don't forget to drop some name ideas.